start on this last problem. And I found that cartoon online too, finally. Do you like the cartoon? It's one of my favorite mathematical cartoons. I love that one. So true, so true. Okay, so I looked up some numbers for you guys. There's a 0.2241 chance I die within this year. Now, I say me. What that actually is a 41-year-old American male. I don't like that. I tried to find more specific details. Like, ethnicity is different. Different ethnic groups have different death rates. And again, I couldn't put in things like how I live my life. I couldn't put like my diet in there. I couldn't put in my exercise level in there. I couldn't put in genetics in there. So this is all 41-year-old males in America. Okay? It was broken down by male and female, and we know the girls live longer and are less likely to die. On average, well, that's what we have to do. That's what the CDC is doing. Did you hear what Brittany just said? On average. And that's the important thing, is that's everything you're doing here is averaging. Everything you're doing here is averaging. You're going to lose 10 cents on average in this game. You can't actually lose 10 cents in a given round. But you're going to average 10 cents lost for every dollar played when you play that game in that way. Thank you. Very, very nice to pick that up. Okay. So there's a I put it as a decimal there too because the decimal is more useful. 0.002241 chance I die. So what's the chance I live? Good answer. Who said that?
I'm like, I don't want to do that. All the others.
Everything else, if it's 0.002241 that I die, it's 0.997759 that I live. I took it away from 100%, right? Whatever's left is the chance that I live. If I die 0.2% of the time, I'm going to live the other 99.8% of the time. I'm just subtracting from 1. I'm using this idea right here. This sum has to sum to 100%, right? If 1 is 0.002241, the other one is 1 minus that. Please.
But is your ante out of the year?
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We haven't gotten there yet. Haven't gotten to my ante yet. We also have to talk about winning versus losing. Winning, I've defined winning in this as I die. Now hang on. I'm trying to make this parallel to the roulette. When you win at roulette, they give you money. When you die with a life insurance policy, they give your heirs money. So I'm trying to make that parallel. Money coming out is tantamount to winning, which in this case would be me dying. Not to be morbid, but that's what life insurance works, right? Fair?
Well, you can use it when you're alive, though, too.
Well, I'm not trying to get into the whole life idea of using it as a savings account. You can. This is purely a 1-year payout term life insurance policy, which means you wouldn't be able to technically. That's term life versus whole life. But now we're getting into those crazy like actuarial and business. But so there are 2 outcomes. I live or I die. I lose or I win. Okay. Now, that's part of the problem, right? You guys now know what goes here, don't you? You now know what goes in the probability column. The top one is what's the chance I die? Well, I told that to you, right? 0.002241, is that correct? That's the chance of spinning that wheel. Sorry, Sean. Landed on skull and crossbones. Fair? Fair. What's the chance I lose, therefore live?
0.997759.
There you go. Everybody follow that? Whatever's left over, they have to add to either I live or I die in any given year. I'm either going to be dead or alive. One could argue that this might be lower for me because I take pretty good care of myself. But of course, I'm also eating this bagel sandwich walking around talking. I always choked 5 times. I might die today. You guys got some nurses in here, right? I think we do. Oh shit, I'm here today. Anyway, now that's part of the problem, right? The other part is the ante. It's the ante, right? We gotta know how much to ante up. So this has to go. Now, I did some searching, and I found a company called Great West. They're a bank, or they're an insurance company. They will sell me, for $41 a month, a $100 life insurance policy for a year. 41 bucks a month. I can insure sorry carcass for 1 year. I did the math for you. That's 492 bucks for the entire year. So what's my ante? 492. It's negative 492 if I lose, which means I live. Think about it. Life insurance is only valuable to you if you die. If you live, you piss the money away for the premium, yes? Does that make sense? Please?
Don't you have to take into account the months, like if you were to win, you have to take into the months, like what part of the year you died in?
Oh, for sure, but I'm assuming a uniform distribution. I'm assuming, I totally get what you're saying, it makes perfect sense. You would assume a uniform distribution, we're getting into 243 stuff. I'm trying to keep this as spare. We also can take the funds and use it to do other things actuarially. Let's just keep it as bare bones. We start messing with that way more in 243. Love the question, Jess. Cool? So this is negative 492, yes? Because you're out the funds. You're out the funds. But then what if I die? What's my payout? Almost.
Minus the
492, right? You got to account that. Now, granted, your heirs are going to get handed $100,000, but you paid the 492, which means the net profit is the difference, just like it was for roulette. Does that make sense? Good. So that ends up being 99,508.
Yeah.
Did I do that right? I hope I did that right. Okay. Do you see how it's just roulette? It's just roulette. Calculate the average for me, please. Calculate that average. Don't look at the negative sign.
Oh yeah?
Uh-huh. Right. Stop talking while I'm eating. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When we were in college class the other day, I asked like how old we can study genes or something for. And my sister was like, well, actually you can go, I think it was 150,000 years old, you can study genes, because like, except one horse that was 700,000 years old. And I'm like, Christy was like,
Oh, listen to YouTube!
like, but that's throwing it off a lot. 'cause
Listen to
that's not-
YouTube, that's fantastic. Make me
You
proud.
guys keep correlating some of the stuff in the classes, it's funny.
That's the way it should be. Honestly, a course like this should correlate almost everywhere.
It's nice.
I love that, because the more you guys hear things in context, the more it's going to make sense to you.
Yeah.
And that's why I love, Waller and me have been talking about team teaching a course for a while. It's going to take a while to get done. But yeah, I love it when things bleed through. It makes me so happy. I'm going to crunch a number while you guys are working. You got me thinking now about the uniform distribution.